What's going on, Exiles? My name is With Honor, and in this video, I'll be talking about my build, Toxic Rain Mines. Now, the two things I want to discuss are the gear and the passive skill tree. Passive skill tree is a lot of fun for me because cluster jewels have added another level to what you can do and changes everything you have seen in the past before 3.10. Kind of becomes irrelevant as far as the skill tree goes. So let's talk about the gear and then we'll get into the passive skill tree. So as far as gear goes, the most important thing you need for Toxic Rain, either self-cast or mines, is your bow. With your bow, you want +3 to Toxic Rain in some form or fashion. You either get +1 to socketed gems and +2 to bow gems, or you do +1 socketed gems, +2 to socketed support gems crafted. Which is much better because socketed support gems gives you +2 to your empower, which gives +2 to Toxic Rain and +2 to the other support gems. So it's definitely the best way to do it. Your second best craft is your Chaos Damage over Time multiplier at tier 1, goes up to 40%. And then the sort of first thing, last thing we talk about is where you start with your bow. You can start with a damage over time multiplier, which is very common previous to this patch. I think that was the way you did it, just basing it off of looking at trade on path of building trade or path of exile trade. I think those bows go for more than the one I crafted, even though the one I crafted is better. I have 2 extra projectiles. If I changed both of those projectiles out for just more damage over time multiplier, that's maybe 5,000 DPS. When you go from 5 pods plus 5,000 DPS to 7 pods minus 5,000 DPS, there's no comparison. This bow is way more DPS, and I'll get into that when we go to path of building. And then from there, so I'm at 7 pods, 2 extra pods. The helm. Now we're at 3 extra pods, 8 total pods. With Toxic Rain, fires an additional arrow. Got plus life, plus resist. This was crafted, I don't know. It was either with essences or with fossils. But yeah, like you can't. That's all you want from a helm, right? For the most part, from our gear, all you want is resistances, life, and then some DPS where you get it. Your quiver. You want chaos damage over time multiplier. Mine's tier 2. Tier 1 obviously is better, but I have tier 1 lightning resist, tier 1 chaos resist. So I got a lot of resist from my quiver, and crafting 55 life on it is good. My second ring, same thing. Life, resist, that's it. I mean, big life, big resist. My first ring has Profane Proxy, which if you play Skitterbots, I think this ring should be in your build. Regardless if it's Toxic Rain or not, this is just too good. But in our build, +3 level to socketed curse gem, so it's a level 23 to spare, plus 70 resistances. It takes away a little bit as far as another ring might go, but you get 70 resistances plus a level 23 to spare that's automatically applied without doing anything. How can you ask for more in this game? You don't have to hit a button, it just happens. Your chest, Kelm's Heart, 500 health or 500 maximum life, times all the multipliers. We don't need the slots. Like, we can't even really benefit from them. I'm trying to figure out a way to use Carcass Jack to use that area effect, area damage, plus the 6 sockets to try and be better. But I'm not even getting close. This is the best chest you can get. And it's cheap this late in the league. Even early in the league, it's not even that expensive comparatively, but Calm's Heart, best chest. Gloves, chaos damage over time, life, resist. There's not a lot you can do here. Tier 1, chaos damage over time, a big life roll, big resist. That's all I did. Boots, series step, you get 16% chance to dodge spell hits, which in defense, if you look without casting anything, without using potions, 40% dodge attacks, 46% dodge spells. And if I use this quartz flask, 52, 58, and then we have Vow Grace, which just way overcaps. So you get like max dodge super easy. There's not a better boot, and getting a max rolled boot is not even that expensive. 75. There's 2 rolls here: 75 life, 16 chance to dodge spells. I think a lot of people might use their fragments and do it Zeri, so I think there's a lot of these on the market. It's super cheap, like 20 chaos maybe, 30 maybe. You get max boots, and then use the crafting bench to get 3 off color or 3 reds for your steel skin cast on damage taken setup, and you get a green slot for your grace. So really easy setup. The 2 that I want to talk about, which aren't necessarily in the slots that you have to talk about them, but that's where it is in my gear. You need a lot of strength from gear. 191 strength. I'm at 195. I have 108. 108 strength off my amulet and 35 off my belt. And I'm at 195 because I have strength on some of my cluster jewels. So your amulet has a lot of potential for DPS. You can get plus the chaos gems, plus the chaos damage over time. So that, I mean, there's a lot of potential for DPS here, but obviously I chose defense over offense because staying alive is more important in my book. But yeah, that's the gear. So let's get into the passive skill tree. It's super hard to see in the in-game. So let me go to Path of Building. All right. So here we go. You have not seen a tree that looks like this, I guarantee it. And you may not see one until you watch this video again. But let's look at what I'm doing here. Gotta scratch my chin because this is thinking time. So most builds, if you go onto POE.ninja and look at Saboteur Toxic Rain, they go over and grab this life wheel. So you get like 49% life for 18 points invested, right? And then they pick up probably skill duration and life and flask efficiency. So that's 24 or 18 plus 6, 24 points. Now this cluster jewel, which is in our pathing, which you'll probably get anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right, 21. And let's just go extra conservative. 22, 23, 24. So 24 points. There's 24% life here. 24% life here. That's 48% life. This wheel, without even getting there, is 49. This is 48% life in those nodes. Plus, I have all the DPS that the nodes that I've already counted give me, plus the auxiliary nodes, right? So flow of life, I already counted 4% life, but it gives me 24% damage over time. And I have that in 2 spots. Plus Wicked Pal for 35% chaos damage and 20% skill effect duration. So this over here, which is 10, 20, 45. Just skill effect duration for 3 points, 45. I've got 20 here plus the 35 chaos damage, 1 point. How does that even compare? Because I can add that in other places. I can add that into this build. I can get one here, but I need the chaos resistance. Depending on the way your gear goes, you can put one of these right here. But this 25% damage over time is 3,200 by itself, right? This is 4,500. So it's 1,300 DPS, but even not getting it here, I mean, that's still a good DPS. And then we go to a second tree. Same thing, right? I have 24% life. 24% life. So I'm not at 198%. POB doesn't calculate one of these calculations correctly, and I'll just point it out. So this 25% increased effect applies to small nodes. POB is applying it to the large nodes as well. So my total life is not correct here. My total life in reality is 7536, and what's happening? And in Path of Building it says 7770. It's not correct. But yeah, I mean, these cluster jewels are more efficient than the tree. And what would you build? What will you build instead of these cluster jewels? You might build this here. So that's 7,200 DPS for 5 points. This is 9,200 DPS. And that's from 2 points. Plus you get all the life, right? Not worth it. You have this over here, 5,200, 5,400, 6,900. Still not worth it. So all this stuff in the tree is not worth building versus cluster jewels. I don't think I can see. I don't think I can add anything to that. Don't do the cookie cutter stuff and build this. It gets better. Actually, I guess the big thing is this large jewel costs 2 to 3 chaos, or 2 to 3 exalts. And it's why I don't have one right here. I need to change this one out so I can have an unwavering evil right here, which will be a DPS increase. And then I already have the cluster jewel that'll fit there. So Flow of Life, Wicked Pal, but it's 5 passives. So it adds a passive skill like right here. So I can't use it now, but I can use it at level 97. But the tree is not very efficient anymore. And this is one build. This is the only build I've played since it's been introduced. And I feel like I've shown exactly how you can do it better. And so I look forward to making other builds as efficient as this one. So thanks for watching, and you have any questions, make a comment or message me in game. And take care.